The shadows of the past.
In the heart of a vast and beautiful continent lay the Kingdom of Afronia, rich in resources, culture, and history. Centuries ago, Afronia thrived, with its people living in harmony, cultivating the land and exchanging goods with distant lands. But one day, explorers from across the seas arrived. They marveled at Afronia's wealth, and soon, friendship turned into exploitation. The invaders seized control, carving up Afronia into pieces, stripping it of its treasures, and leaving deep wounds in the hearts of its people. For generations, the kingdom endured foreign rule. The people were forbidden to govern themselves, their traditions were suppressed, and their lands were reshaped according to foreign desires. Though Afronia eventually gained its independence, it did so with scars divisions sown by those who had ruled it. In the decades that followed, Afronia struggled to stand tall. New leaders emerged, but many carried the burden of the past. It is not our fault, they would often say. We were robbed of our prosperity and identity by those who came before. Indeed, the past had left behind broken institutions and economies built not for the people's welfare but for foreign profit. Yet, with time, some began to wonder, when does the blame stop? And when does responsibility begin? Among those asking this question was a young farmer named Kofi. He watched as some leaders continued to enrich themselves, citing past oppression whenever the people demanded answers. True, we were wronged, Kofi thought. But what about now? Why do we cling to the past and refuse to hold ourselves accountable for today's failings? Kofi's friend, Ao, saw things differently. Kofi, she said, you must understand colonialism didn't just steal resources. It destroyed our ability to trust one another and build strong institutions. If we can't take responsibility yet, it's because we are still trying to heal from that. Kofi nodded, understanding Ao's point. But Ao, he replied, doesn't healing also require that we look forward? If we keep pointing fingers at history, we'll never learn to walk on our own. We need leaders who will say, yes, the past hurt us, but we must rise above it. Over the years, Afronia's people began to see the wisdom in both views. They acknowledged that while history had played a major role in their struggles, the future was theirs to shape. They began holding leaders accountable, investing in education, and reviving their cultural pride not as a way to dwell on the past but to build a brighter future. This tale of Afronia reflects the dual reality faced by many African nations. While the past casts long shadows, the future is shaped by the actions of today. The question remains, how long should the past hold us back before we take full responsibility for moving forward?